Good evening everyone, what is up? It's Fenner, how are you doing today? I thought I would do a setup tour because there's a lot of people asking what I use every day. There it is, let's go through it. Also, number one tip, put your PC next to the toilet. Then it takes like 2 or 3 steps and you can get back to gaming faster. I'm a genius.
Alright, so first off we have the desk, which got passed down to me from my parents, but I absolutely love it. It's just one big, solid-ass desk. I don't know where it's from. I believe it's from IKEA, but I might be wrong. I don't like a desk with any frills at all, so it just gets the job done. It's basically a piece of wood with 2 pieces of wood on the side, and I love it. Let's jump straight to my PC since a lot of people are going to want to know about what that is. Basically, I just hide it behind my desk on the floor. It's out of the way. It cuts out on sound pollution on my audio. It's probably not the best position for it because it gets dust in there and it's probably bad for like static and stuff like that. I don't really know anything about it. But it's a Corsair 300R case with the motherboard is some ASRock motherboard. It was just basically the cheapest motherboard I could get. It's nothing special. I can't even remember the model name. But it's an i7 4790K with a Cooler Master Hyper 212X cooler like everybody's got nowadays, a GTX 970, which is the gigabyte version, I believe. I recently upgraded to 16 gigabytes of HyperX RAM, which is running around 1800 megahertz clock speed. I'm using an old as hell Seagate PSU, which is 500 watts. I've had this thing for probably about 10 years now, as it's just gone through me as I've upgraded my PC over time, which is why the cable management looks so friggin' bad. I'm using 2 hard drives. The main one for the operating system and stuff that I want to run fast is an SSD, which is a Samsung Evo, is 250 gigs, and then I'm using a massive 3 terabyte drive, which I believe is a Western Digital blue or black, I can't remember which one. Either way, it's 3 terabytes, and it's just a standard hard drive. I also keep an Xbox 360 controller on top of the PC, which I very, very rarely use nowadays. Let's pull out a bit, and as you can see, I'm running 2 monitors. I actually have 3 monitors, but I really like the 2 monitor setup, and they're a bit uneven, as you can see. One of them is a 24-inch, one of them is a 23-inch. The main monitor is a 144Hz monitor, which is a BenQ XL2411, and the second monitor is also a BenQ, but it's a VZ2350. The second monitor is an IPS display, which has really good color reproduction. So it's a lot better for graphic design, whereas the main monitor, I can't say it's got the best color reproduction. It's just fantastic for gaming with that 144 Hz. Ideally, when it comes to monitors, I'd have 2 big, beautiful monitors that were symmetrical. Both were 144 Hz, both were 4K, and they had beautiful colors, but that all gets a bit expensive, so this is my ghetto setup for now. Going into this, I'm using a Logitech K120. Now, this is a pretty crappy, shoddy keyboard, but my last keyboard died, which cost $300, which was a Das Keyboard Pro 3 with brown switches, and I absolutely loved it. But I needed a keyboard to replace it ASAP, so I went to the store, I got this, and I've just been using it ever since. For the mouse, I'm using a Steelseries Rival 100, which is a fantastic mouse. The only thing wrong with it is these little side grills here. It's like a hard plastic, and it gets really, really dirty since it all catches in there, and it's super hard to clean, so that's annoying as hell. I'm kind of tempted just to sand it down because I do like the shape of this mouse a lot. It's all sat on a huge mousepad, which is a glorious PC Gaming Race mousepad, and I just sit the keyboard and the mouse on there. It makes it really easy. Next up, the audio equipment. Now, this is the stuff that I love. I'm using a Rode Procaster dynamic microphone, which is an absolute beast. I love it. I've had no problems with it. Yeah, I mean, I love this thing. It's sat on a mic stand, which just goes onto the ground. I prefer that over a desk stand because there's less vibrations getting to the microphone when you're using a ground stand like that. Obviously, you can get a shock mount, but I just like it like this. It's a lot simpler. I'm using a pair of trousers to separate the stand from the desk and reduce vibrations even more. I know it looks silly, but it gets the job done. I didn't like those trousers anyway. For the audio interface, which the microphone runs into so it can connect to my PC basically, is a Steinberg UR28M. Expensive little bugger, but again, I absolutely love it. The microphone preamps on this are fantastic, and it also has a built-in compressor and EQ, so everything can be done on the hardware end. I don't have to worry about anything at all on the software end. I can literally just record my audio and it will come out perfectly fine. I do want to get an upgrade in a cloud lifter for my microphone, but it's like $200 and it's going to be very minimal. No one would ever notice. It's just for me. And to listen to everything, I'm using a pair of Audio-Technica M50Xs in the special edition color, which I really like. These headphones are fantastic. They're great for listening to music. They're great for monitoring audio when editing and things like that. I do want to get another pair of headphones for gaming. I want to get an open pair of headphones so that they have better soundstage, but for everything but soundstage, these headphones are absolutely perfect. Even for travel, they've got really good sound isolation, so I love this pair of headphones. When it comes to lighting, I'm honestly just using lights that I got off of eBay. They were the cheapest ones I could get. I'm using a softbox as the main light straight above me, slightly to the left. And then I'm using a light with an umbrella. I'm using the reflective side of the umbrella because I find it just casts the light around the room better. And that's basically just the fill light for the rest of the room and for the green screen. And I usually leave the main light in the room on as well, which helps out a bit. For the green screen, I'm actually just using, again, something I got off eBay. It's kind of ghetto. It's not perfect, but it was cheap and it gets the job done. So again, I'm always looking for the cheap options because I'm pretty broke, and this works perfectly. An underlooked piece of a setup is the chair, and the chair that I'm using is by an Australian company called Equip Office Furniture, and this thing is the best. It's super solid, it's ultra comfy, and it's gonna last a long ass time because I've already had it for over a year, and there is absolutely zero wear on this thing. It's called the Lotus, and in America it can kind of be compared to the Herman Miller Aeron, but not exactly. But it's on the same kind of level. It's just a little bit cheaper because Herman Miller stuff is extremely expensive in Australia. With that said, it was still expensive as hell, but I think a good chair is worth it. My butt no longer hurts, which it did with my my $40 chair from Kmart. I have a pair of glasses. Always good to keep a Kleenex box on the desk. And I recently picked up a Nexus 5X because my LG G4 died. This phone is basically the cheapest good phone you can get in Australia. And it is very, very good. The only weakness of this phone is the camera's a little bit weak, but everything else on this phone is great. It's already running Android 7, and I just love the stock Android experience. So highly recommend this phone if you're looking for something on the cheaper end that is still really, really good.
Alright guys, that does it for this setup tour. If you got any questions at all about anything that I use, just hit me up in the comments below. But otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, dudes. Peace.